Good afternoon. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Henry, can you hear me? Am I there?
Yeah, loud and clear, mate. Loud and clear.
Good. For some reason, I don't think it happens with people watching, but the last 30 seconds of my intro for me just freezes all over the place. I need to get that sorted out. And Henry, what I've got to make a decision on, which 4 goals am I going to pick for next season? Which 4 goals should we change the intro to?
You're going to change it, are you?
Yeah, I'll change a couple. We'll mix it up every now and then. You know, we'll see how it is. I've already added Luton in and Sheffield United and who else came up? Burnley. So we might as well. We'll get a Spurs goal in. We'll get a Spurs.
You should get you've got Carlos, Zidane,
yeah,
Rooney. Get Bowers overhead kick because that's iconic.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe Paul Gascoigne's free kick in the 91 FA Cup semi-final. Yep. You know, one where Seaman just couldn't quite get there.
What about Zlatan's goal against England?
Oh, what, from 100 yards out?
You know what one of my favourite goals is in England was Papa Cissé's against Chelsea.
Yes, I love that. Do you know what? One of the goals I was thinking of doing, mate, was, you know, the one where Lionel Messi dribbles it round about 95 players, you know, like in the cup final when he's on the right-hand side and he just takes everyone on. But do you know how much it costs to get that made from animation, from video into animation? Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here for an hour. We're just here for a quick hour before we jump onto Henry's channel and do an hour on his channel as well. So please, without saying, I'm sure all of you good people in the chat have subscribed to the YouTube sensation that is Henry Wright. If you haven't, please go and subscribe to him. Subscribe to me as well. We are closing down very quickly on 6K. It's moved very quickly since we hit 5K. So let's do that. I don't like being more than 50, more than 100% behind Henry. Henry's on. Henry's he's such a big YouTuber. One day I'll catch him. One day. I don't know, mate. It's been a long day. I've been in the sun, mate. Henry. Players are going to have to go this summer. I think we all know that, right? Players are going to have to go. But I think we all know, Henry, as well, as much as we'd love to see all 20-odd players go, it's not realistic. And I want to go through with you who you think from each area of the pitch we're going to keep and why, and who we're going to let go and why. So I know I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, just get rid of all the defenders. But, you know, realistically, you can't. So I want to go through that with you. Just quickly, anybody in the chat, if you want put a question in for us about players, please do. To ensure that question gets read out, make it a super chat. And also, please subscribe. Let's go, Henry. Let's go. Just a couple of comments. I've got Phil Coy said, Lucas Moura's last-minute Champions League winner.
No, the goal didn't. If we would have won the Champions League, I'd say put it in there. But let's be honest. The goal in the grand scheme of things, because we lost the Champions League final, it doesn't really mean anything. It's only Spurs fans. I mean, who scored the winner for Man City in the quarterfinal of the Champions League they lost?
Yeah, it's I could do. I mean, some people are saying Ginola v Barnsley, Kane screaming Villa Willis. I'll tell you what I will do. I will get, if I change all 4, I will get 1 Spurs goal in there. I will get a Spurs goal. I'll do some votes for it. I'll tell you what, Jolian, please, can I just ask one question, mate? I put a post out earlier on YouTube about Spurs' kit, and you managed to bring it back to Daniel Levy and protests. Please stop. Not everything needs to be about these protests. You're on the wrong channel for that. Just stop. Just stop, mate. I don't want to talk about it every minute of every day. Please get any questions in. Henry, goalkeepers. I want to start with the goalkeepers. Look, it's a sore talking point of Spurs at the moment. Hugo Lloris has said he wants out. I think a lot of Spurs fans, before he said that, would have been very much of the opinion that he's got to go now. He's not what he was. With that in mind, do you see just one goalkeeper coming in? And do you see Fraser Forster or Whiteman or Brandon Austin all being kept? Or do you think we'll have a complete clean sweep of goalkeepers?
I think Lloris will go to either France or Saudi Arabia or maybe Italy. If you go Saudi Arabia, it's the move of his life. I think we will bring in a goalkeeper, and I think Forster will stay on for another year. the likes of Whiteman and the likes of there's another one as well, isn't there? Whiteman and
Austin.
Yeah. I think both of them will just be one will come out alone and one will eventually be sold. To be honest, the goalkeepers for me, everything starts from the back, right? Postecoglou likes high pressing, fast-paced football, dominating possession. If you look at a team, he'd say he would design his team off of Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in those teams that dominate possession, usually the goalkeeper is very, very good with his feet. If you look at the teams in the Premier League, Ramsdale, Edison, Alisson, all good with their feet. And nowadays, it's such a big part of the game. 20, 30 years ago, the footwork of a keeper wasn't really, it was important, but it's not the level it is now. Getting a goalkeeper that, whether it's going to be Raya, he seems to be the one we're interested in, or someone else. But for me, getting the goalkeeper is one of the big priorities in our squad. And I think I'd like Forster as a backup. I don't think if you look across backups across the league, I think he's one of the better ones.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree with that. I feel like he gets a lot of stick, but bearing in mind, he's a number 2, right? Yeah. How many clubs have a top number 1 and a top number 2?
Only City.
I would argue the only 2 one I do like, but again, I've not seen enough of him in enough games, would be the goalkeeper down at Liverpool. Is it Kelleher?
The Irish keeper, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's quite good. But again, we've not seen him tested over a period of 10, 15 games. So I do feel that our fans are really, really harsh with Fraser Forster. But Raya seems to be the one being mentioned. But I mean, are we gonna dilly-dally about this? Do you think that there's any other keepers that are in the offing? Do you think Lloris will go on a free? Do you think that he's going to be sold? What do you think is going to go
How long? Lloris has got a year left on his contract, doesn't he?
I think he's got 1 year left, if I remember rightly.
I mean, his wages, I think he's the 3rd or 4th highest paid player in the club.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they ripped the contract up and he left on a free. I'd look at the likes of Saudi Arabia are offering stupid money. Di Maria, Wilfred Zaha, and there's another one on the list.
Zaha. Yeah, you've got Kante, Benzema, Wilfred Zaha. Like Mahrez today is linked
that's the one, Mahrez.
Mahrez has been linked, yeah.
I think Lloris could do a job in Saudi Arabia for a couple of years. The league's not great, is it? It's got a lot of aging players. Saudi Arabia is what the MLS was like 15 years ago, what China was like 7 or 8 years ago. Now it's like the new league where, the retired players go. I think Lloris will join another club desperately, but for me, I don't want him anywhere near Tottenham now. In my opinion, he probably should have gone a year ago.
Yeah. I'll be honest, mate. I think he should have gone maybe a couple of years ago. And I think he's been saved because of the fact that we need so much. I think we've got so much to change here that look, we've had no succession plan. We should have known about this ages ago. Players that have been considered in the past, the likes of Dean Henderson, he's now just signed for Nottingham Forest. I don't know who else there is. Sanchez appears to have lost his place at Brighton, which would fill me with worry.
Is he good enough for a number 1?
There you go. That's my point. I mean, he's been taken over by, is it Luke Still?
He's about 32, 33. He's quite an old keeper, though.
Yeah, but he's one of them. He's had to bide his time to get a game. But it's just, I can't see where else we go. I mean, I really like Jose Sarr of Wolves. You're not sold?
I'm not a huge fan. People say, oh, yeah, but he saves a lot of shots because it's Wolves' defense. Edison doesn't save a load of shots, but when it's required, he turns up. The best goalkeepers in the world, their biggest skill and their attribute is their concentration level. You could have nothing to do for 90 minutes, and you've got to make a worldy save. So for me, I don't think he's. I'd much rather Raya or who's the. If I had my way, I'd go and get the Georgian Valencia goalkeeper. I can't pronounce his name.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's good. Do you know a keeper?
He's got a big release clause though, and I don't. A typical Levy, he'll be trying to argue. Can we get rid of the release clause or offer you like winks and 10 million or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, a few goalkeepers I like from around the world, and again, I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying we could get them. I don't know anything about their situations. I like Milenkovic-Savic's brother in goal for Fiorentina. Actually, I think he's a good goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper at is it Valencia? Who's the goalkeeper that plays for Morocco? Not Valencia.
Sevilla.
Sevilla. I like him as well. I think he's a good goalkeeper. But look, again, let's hope that the new director of football, if one ever comes in, or Postecoglou, have got a plan as to who that is going to be. Let's move to defenders. Let's just quickly go through some of the comments in the chat.
Who's the keeper at Porto?
Yeah, that's oh god, he's got
Costa?
the same. Yeah, isn't he got the same? Yeah, it's something Costa, the same as someone else, right? He's got really big plaudits, hasn't he? And I think he's the Portugal #1 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
If I'm right. Yeah, listen, I can't say I've seen loads of him, but people talk about him like he's brilliant. So he's one to look out for. Let's have a look at what some of the comments have said. And Dawes, big up. I will save this, Anne. Thank you so much for the super chat. Has said, which returning loan players would you keep? By the way, we're going to run through all the returning loan players in this conversation. So fear not, Anne. We'll have a special section just for you on this. So thank you very much. Phil has said, I like Ortega at City. Been really impressed with him. Only problem is that he's 31. Luis Maximiano. I don't know who that is, if I'm brutally honest. I don't want to be that person that says, yeah, him, when I don't know him. Raya or Mamadashvili for me. I think, is he the one you were talking about, Henry?
Yeah, that's the one. He's the Georgian #1. Only had like 2 or 3 years like a good level, but I don't think he's that old, and there's a lot of praise about him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of goalkeepers about Bono. I think is the one I was talking about, right? For Sevilla, I think. But listen, there must be good goalkeepers all over the world. Spurs Bird said we need to sign Prem-proven players. We need to stop buying players from other leagues. I'm going to disagree with you. I don't know what difference it makes, if I'm really honest. Most of the league is foreign in the Premier League. I don't know. I don't feel like Brighton have done bad buying from abroad. Man City get most of their players from abroad. United, Liverpool. I don't know. Sorry, what do you think, Henry, on this? Do we have to buy all players from the Premier League?
Well, look at Brighton, right? How often do they buy a player from the Premier League? Right, James Milner, from the Premier League. They've just signed Pedro from Watford, and they've signed Dahoud, or Dahoud, however you pronounce it, the Turkish centre mid from Dortmund. Before that, where did they sign Basuma from?
Yeah.
Where did they sign Mitoma from? Where have they signed half of McAllister from? McAllister was from an Argentinian side.
Yeah, and Cisco.
Where did City sign Laporte from, or De Bruyne from, or Aguero?
Alvarez. All of them.
Alvarez. It's, when you look at the Premier League, in my opinion, is by far the strongest competitive league in the world, right? But we act like there's no talent anywhere else in Europe or America or Asia or any other Africa.
And you're paying a premium, aren't you? Paying a premium if you go to someone in. If Spurs go and try and get a player from, I'm just going to make up a club here. Spurs go and try and buy a player from Schalke, right, or Mönchengladbach, compared to what we're going to have to pay Wolves for their player, or do you know what I mean? I think, for example, if Spurs wanted to go and get Paulinho from Fulham, how much is Paulinho? How much of Fulham? Right, but Fulham picked him up last year for what, 20 million?
If you look at like Raya, if Raya was playing in France or Italy, that's a £20 million goalkeeper. The fact that he's in the Premier League, he's £40 million. Look at it this way, right? Lewis Dunk, for me, is one of the best English centre halves in the league. Because he's English and in the Premier League, he's probably going to be £40-50 million player now. If you bought a 29-year-old centre back from Germany, he's probably going to be 20 million.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Just one last goalkeeping name. Lots of people are coming up with Gavin Bazunu of Southampton. Now, Henry, I want to cast your mind back, and I know this is really harsh, but I want to cast your mind back to me and you, first game of the season at home to Southampton. Yeah. First of all, I remember us looking at each other during that second half going, these lot are going down, right? Do you remember? It was like...
Yeah, we said it first game of the season. They're going down.
I don't care if it's first game of the season. This lot are shocking. They've got nothing. Anyway, Bazunu, I thought harsh because he's young, but for me, he is nowhere near ready for me to be a #1 For me, I don't think he's good enough. What do you make of him?
Yeah, he needs a 2 or 3 more years at least. It's the same with Leeds' keeper, Meslier, whatever his name is. Too inexperienced, lacks a lot of the traits to be a goalkeeper. Just learning his trade. For me, to be a number one at 2021, you have got to be exceptional. Normally, to be a number one, you're 24, 25. But to be a number one goalkeeper at a football club, considering goalkeepers play on until they're in their late 30s, you have got to be, Gianluigi Buffon, Iker Casillas. Now, how many other goalkeepers in world football do we know that are a good standard that are 21 or younger?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely spot on, Henry.
You've got to be a top keeper.
Absolutely. Look, let's move to the defenders. Before we do, Spurs Bird, I'm just going to say, when you say no, but it's guaranteed they'll perform, none of this betting in nonsense, and you followed up with you pay a premium because there is no risk. I'm just going to say 2 names to you. How did Basuma's season go? How did Richarlison's season go? They were both from the Premier League, right? So I'm not just naming those 2. I don't think there's a correlation always. I think sometimes it depends on the formation, on the player you're bringing in, on the club that, how settled the team are. Many Man City players don't seem to come over and struggle because they're well settled. So sorry, mate, I don't believe that there is no risk to signing players from the Premier League at all. Henry, let's look at our defenders. I mean, we have got a bucket load of defenders and absolutely no quality amongst all of them. It's shocking, isn't it? So I'm going to start with the left-back area. Now, we're going to have to be slightly skewed with this, and I know people in the chat will be pedantic, but whether they're left backs, left wing backs, I'll group them all together. Let's have a look. Let's start. You've got all the players that play on that left-hand side. You've got Ben Davies. You've got Ryan Sessegnon. You've got Ivan Perisic, and you've got Udogie.
And Reguilon.
Now, and Reguilon, right. So you've got 5 of them. Can I say for purposes that let's not talk Udogie? I think we pretty much know he's going to be in our team next year, right? He's going to be in our squad, definitely. So the other 4, who are you keeping, who are you letting go of, and why?
Keeping other than Udogie, personally, I would like to keep Sergio Reguilon. I think in terms of left backs, left wing back, that whole area of the pitch, he's probably the second best one we've got. I think he's been a bit treated and had a bit of a tough time at Tottenham. He went for a period where before he got his hamstring injury, we were like, okay, we can't play without this guy. Everything's going down the left-hand side. Him and Son had a great connection together. They were working extremely well. And then he got his hamstring injury and we were like, okay, now you can see why Sevilla have let him go. Or Real Madrid let him go, sorry. Ryan Sessegnon, on the other hand, he should be one of the first names out of this football club. Not good enough, never has been good enough. Scored a few goals at left wing in Fulham in the Championship. Got relegated to Fulham when he was in the Premier League. Can't stay fit for Toffee. Can't actually defend. I mean, he's strong and he's quick. So what? That doesn't make you a good technical footballer. Get rid. And in a heartbeat, we get rid. One of the first names out of the team we should get rid of. Oh, she's got Perisic. Get rid. 33 years of age, £180,000 a week. He's in the top 5 players paid at the football club. Get rid. Rip his contract up.
God bless Paratici.
Yeah, I mean, whoever thought it was a good idea, Sessegnon and Perisic should both go. Davies, however, I think there is a place for him at Tottenham, but I don't think it's at left back. I think if you want to have a squad, I think he would be cover for the left centre back. I don't think he can start, but cover.
Do you know what? I agree. I think I agree. So from what you've just said there, Udogie and Reggie are your 2. Sessegnon and Perisic are going, and Ben Davies, I think, because of his utility and because of the fact that we can't release everyone in one window, I think survives and will end up getting. He must be due 2 testimonials, and it feels like he's been here for.
He's a good backup for a centre back, isn't he? If we bring in a left-sided centre back and we got rid of the likes of Dyer and Sanchez, and you had Longley, Davis, and whoever the first team left-sided centre-back, that's not terrible. The next the next window, I would expect to get rid of one of Davis or Longley. But for me, I think there is a place at Tottenham. He's 31 years of age. I don't want him starting every single game, but in the games where we're considerable favourites, or we've got an important cup game coming up, we're resting whoever that centre back's going to be. I wouldn't mind seeing Davis start.
I think it's one of those, Henry. Once we get a settled 11, I think if you are swapping Davis out for one player every now and then, it's not an issue. Yeah. I think the problem is we're constantly going from different formations. Davis 1 week is left back, then he's left wing back, then he's left centre half. Then, I don't think he's the worst in a back three, but I think the two players next to him need to be quick and the two players next to him need to be of quality. So whether it's Romero and, I don't know, a Lewis Dunk, I'm not saying he's going to come, but, someone of that ilk. So I think we're pretty much on the same page there. Just on a side note, I think it's going to be really interesting to see, Henry, because we all know that historically Postecoglou plays a 4. It's going to be really interesting to see if Adoji goes straight in as that left back, because when I watch him play, he's more of a left wing back. Not saying he can't do the job. Obviously need to see more of him, but with him and then Porro on the right-hand side, it's going to be very, very attacking, isn't it? Yeah. Adoji and Porro. So watch this space, right? Watch this space.
Yeah, I think with the next appointment will have to be the DM, because if you've got the two centre-backs, that essentially the way he plays, the left back and right back they're essentially like wing backs in a 4. They're so high up pressing, it leaves the two centre-backs and the DM. Whoever that DM's got to be, has got to be like a Paulina who can sit, mop up Rodri, Kimmich, that level of DM. But
absolutely. What Wanyama did for us. What Palacios did for us. Like those powerhouses that they're not, their instruction is not to go and join in with play. Their instruction is break up play, make the tackle, give it to the bloke in front who can play. Right? Yeah.
That's essentially
nice and simple. Yeah, nice and simple. I like that. And to be fair, Fulham have done that really well with two underrated players there. Like I even think like that Harry Reid of Fulham, I'm not saying buy him, does a really good job. Him and Paulinho just seem to have really
got a good connection, haven't they?
Good connection.
Good footballing relationship.
Absolutely.
I like who's the American left back? Is it Robinson?
Anthony Robinson. I like him.
City were looking at him in January, weren't they? I wouldn't be surprised if because they haven't got a massive amount of cover at left back, have they?
No, but Pep just, next year you might see Calvin Phillips converted to a. You just don't know with Pep, do you? But yeah, so I think we're pretty much agreed there. Let's move to the right back position. Now, right back, funny enough, we've got 5 that can go and play on that position on the left, but on the right side, you've literally now Doherty's gone. You've got Royale, you've got Porro. I'm going to put Tanganga as a centre half, so I'm not going to include him here. They're the only 2 as far as I can see, Henry. Unless am I glaringly obviously missing someone? Jed Spence, of course. Jed Spence is coming back. Now, Henry, we've got 3 very different footballers there in terms of Porro, for me, is very much an attacking midfielder. I don't care what anyone says. This guy in a 4, I think you're going to see real exciting times, but real frustration at his defensive positioning and ability. Jed Spence is very much your engine up and down.
Yeah.
But young, unknown. We've seen about 8 minutes of football from him. And then you've got Royale, who's the complete opposite to those 2, isn't good with the ball, but a bit more solid as a right back. So do you keep all 3? Is there a need for all 3 if you're playing once a week and you're not in Europe? What do you do?
I would convert Porro to a winger and say it's up to you. It's you and Kulusevski. You're fighting for that place. There's nothing wrong with a bit of healthy competition. I think Porro has a lot of the capabilities and fundamental attributes to be a winger. Quick. He actually can cross the football. He has an eye for goal. I think with a better attacking, I don't want to say attacking coaches, because we've very much got defensive coaches, but I think he could actually be a half decent winger. Like at the moment,
I agree.
He offers more as a winger than the likes of Kulusevski. Like, when's the last time Kulusevski beat a man?
No, mate, I agree. From what we saw at the back end of the season, Porro looked really dangerous. He looked very accurate as well. When he got into the box, so he either scored a goal or his shots fizzed past the puck. Do you know what I mean? He looked a bit more. You know what he's got that Kulu hasn't? Is that mobility. He's got that pace and that mobility to get about. So I'd ask, do you need both? Look, I'm not going to get into a Kulu debate yet. We'll do that when we get further up the pitch. Just off topic, Henry, if you had exactly 400 people in your chat and you had 77 likes, would you be upset?
Yeah.
It like less than 25%. 402 people.
Jesus.
And 77 likes. Henry, this fan base, man. Get over there. Smash that like button.
150 likes should be an absolute bare minimum.
Absolutely.
150 likes.
And
like
people,
if you haven't already. It takes 2 seconds and it's free to do.
We are 25 subs away from 5,700. Smash that subscribe button. Help me get to that by the end of tonight. Please, please, please do that. Go over there. Subscribe to Henry Backwards Baseball Cap Wearing Right TV. Let's get him some more subscribers
or
as
is it
well.
Henry Left TV or whatever I get called now?
Mate, you get some absolute brilliant ones. You do. You get all. I'm jealous of your trolls, to be honest. You get loads. So please press the subscribe. Please smash the likes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set a target. Can we get to 200 likes by 6:15? That's 15 minutes away.
Should be easy.
So sorry. Essentially, are we keeping all three, Henry? All three right backs staying?
I don't know because no one's really seen. No one's really seen Lee Gunners in the chat. Look at him, West Ham, massive. Honestly,
where is he?
This guy last night, right, was messaging me, voice notes at 11 o'clock. So that would have been midnight Spanish time, saying West Ham are massive everywhere they go. Where's your trophy and all that and all that? Like,
I tell you what, Lee, I'm not reading this out, mate. I'll tell you what, though, put it in a super chat and I'll even give you some of the arms. I'll give you the West Ham are massive. Henry Late TV. And big up Lee Gunner. If you haven't subscribed, I'm sure most of you have. Go and follow Lee. I love watching Lee. It is harsh, it is brutal, and it is to the point.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Spence play, so do we?
I know.
Like, do we just get rid for the sake of getting rid, or do we actually give him until January and say if he doesn't perform, you're out? Like, if we put Porro and Kulusevski as the right wing and backup right wing, is Spence and Royale the worst right back duo in the Premier League?
I don't know. This is the problem. I mean, for me, I think that the problem is I'm not a fan of Royal, right? I'm not a fan of Emerson Royale. But I think at the moment, for how much we need to do, if he is going to play an out-and-out right back, I don't mind him playing that. But Postecoglou does like to play the inverted fullbacks, Henry, where they go and join in. So we could see a defensive, two attacking fullbacks. To do that, though, you've got to get the goalie sorted, the keeper sorted, and that defensive midfielder sorted. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Let's move, Henry, to by the way, just quickly, Loves Music has said you should go on strike until you get the likes. Yeah, just sit here in silence. Let's sit here in silence, Henry, until we get 200 likes.
You're 150 now. We've
got 148 in the chat. That's much better. Thank you very much. We've doubled it in 3 minutes. So thank you very much, everybody. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And let's talk about centre-backs. Now, when we look at the centre-backs, Henry, we've got a list of them. I'm not going to chuck in players like Charlie Sayers and Alfie Dorrington. I don't think that's fair at all. Let's look at the centre-halves. We've already said we'd keep Ben Davies as a squad player, but that you've then got Christian Romero, Davinson Sanchez, Japhet Tanganga, Eric Dyer. I'm missing one. Joe Rodon and Longley. Right. So here's the 6. Now, can we just say we're keeping Romero, right? Should we just take him off the table? We're keeping Romero. For as much as people think I hate him, we're keeping Romero.
Yeah.
You can't let go of all 5 of those, surely, at once.
You can let go of 3, though.
Right. There you go. Who's your 3? Which 3 are you letting go of?
I'm letting go of Dyer, Sanchez, and Tanganga.
And you're keeping Joe Rodon?
Yep.
You're keeping Joe Rodon?
Is he worse than Dyer?
I don't know, but this team in France didn't even play him.
if we bring in a centre back and we have that centre back, Davis, Rodon, Longley, Romero. Say we need 2 centre backs, right? Tanganga for me is an absolute clown, and you've got to remember Longley's not even permanent. Longley's going back to Barcelona.
So here's my point. So first of all, let's start with him then. Should Longley be signed?
Not at £15 million. No, you can get a better centre back for cheaper than that.
You think Akanji was 15 million?
There you go.
Akanji was 15 million pounds.
Right, in a bidding 30 million for Colwell.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so we're letting go of. We all agree. We agree on Dyer.
Dyer and Sanchez are the first 2 out.
So Dyer, Sanchez, and Longley. So you're keeping Romero, Tanganga, and Rodon. It's all whichever way you do this, Henry. You can't win in life, mate. It's bad, isn't it?
I'd rather keep Rodon than Dyer. For me, Dyer is an absolute, he's awful.
I just think Rodon, watch Rodon. He turns like the Titanic, mate. It's so slow.
Who's worse, Dyer or Rodon?
Mate, I don't know. I've not seen. Listen. I don't do this to me. But I don't want any of them. This is the problem with this game I've created. I don't want any of them. I'd like to go out and I'd like to say, okay, we're going to play 2 centre halves next year. Romero is one. And I'd like to think we're going to get 2 centre halves, right? That will be 1, 2, and 3. Those 2, whichever order those 2 of those 3. Then either Tanganga or Rodon as number 4. And unless you've got 2 injuries, you don't really then ever need to see Rodon or Tanganga. That's me. Or you bring through Charlie Sayers or Dorrington.
Or Walcott.
Oh, what, Fagan Malachi Walcott?
Yeah, bring through him.
Yeah.
This is how bad it is, right? I'd rather go and pay £2 or £3 million and get Connor Cody out of Wolves.
Do you know what? I've said this before, that I'm not averse to Connor Cody coming in, and people hate it.
He's better than any centre back we've got, but besides Romero, really, isn't he?
I think he's a captain, Henry. He's a leader.
Well, there's a lot of talk about Whiteman, isn't there? Not Whiteman. There's a lot of talk about Kilman.
Yeah, I'd take Kilman. I'd definitely take Max Kilman. What do you reckon Wolves are going to charge us to take him from there?
25 million, 30 million.
You reckon?
He's English, isn't he? India. 20 million.
Isn't he Irish? Is he English? Is he Irish?
One or two.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Who's he play for? Wolves squad.
What I don't understand is why can't we go
English,
and raid?
Yeah.
Why can't we go and raid Southampton and get Bola catch up? Lavia. How bad is it?
I agree.
That a relegated team, 3 of their players start for us.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would like to see Bola catch up, or if I've got his name wrong.
He's class.
Yeah. But by the way, Phil, for me, if Rodon stays, I don't want to see him in the 11. I don't know about you, Henry. This guy's got to be like backup. This guy should not be playing in the first team.
No, but you're right. He shouldn't be playing, but because we can't, unless we do a Nottingham Forest and just get rid of 20 players.
Let's do it. Let's all do a Forest. But
just
Phil, whenever me and you speak, Phil, you don't seem to want to get rid of any Spurs players. Like whenever I ask you about who should be in the 11 for next year, you literally name all 11 that are still at the club now, and then you talk about we need to build. For me,
Salisu as well. He's better than most centre backs.
I'd take Salisu. I think there's defenders all over the place, Henry, that I'd take. I'd take Tar of Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, and Ducker's going Roma though, isn't he?
Yeah, I know he's got better options, but we haven't even put our sword in the limelight. We haven't even had an approach.
Mate. And yeah, but apparently we did in January. Apparently we did have an approach. And he said he wanted better. Who's the guy at Leverkusen?
Is it Tapsoba?
They've got Tapsoba, Tar, and Hincapi as their back 3.
I'd take Hincapi in a heartbeat.
I'd take all 3 in a heartbeat. The problem you've got here, Henry, if you put Hincapi and Romero in a 2, Jesus Christ.
Disasters.
It is asking for a red card a game, and our centre halves will spend more time diving on the floor than they will actually defending.
What about who's the one at Roma?
Oh, I'd take most of Roma's centre halves. Ibanez.
Yeah,
Ibanez?
or Mancini. Is it Mancini?
Or Mancini.
Yeah.
I'd take Smalling at this stage. Let me.
Would you take Montinal from Sevilla? Argentine centre back. Apparently, he's open to leaving.
Look, I can't say enough about him.
How Spursy would it be for us to go and sign Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic?
Look,
how was he one more trophy?
Postecoglou wants it. If Postecoglou wants it, I want it, right? Look, I just think we know how he plays. I think, again, when we're talking about Rodon, for example, I think we've got to realise that this is not how Postecoglou plays. I can't see him having someone that, again, Henry, it's being immobile. Same as Kulu, same as Skip, same as Højbjerg, same as Perisic. They're all immobile. But, I mean, people saying De Vrij. I mean, De Vrij, could we get that? Could we get De Vrij?
He's what, 31? I don't think it's...
Would he be too bad for a couple of years to bring some experience and actually teach Romero how to stay on his feet?
I mean, he's better than he's better than the defenders we got. Like, I just think we're at a level now where we need so much. It's what's the priority?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'll tell you what, like I even watched that Agurd at West Ham and think, how have they gone and signed a better centre-back than we've managed to find? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, let's not talk about him. There was some interesting comments going around in the pub last night about Zuma. But I'm Kev G said, correct, Sav, a couple of the youth players promoted to the backups. Why not? I agree. I think look, my worry is this, Kev G. My worry is this: if we are looking to try and get rid of Sanchez, who's got the salary for him? Because he's on 85 grand a week. Where does he go? Rodon, who's going to pay for him? You know, that's my worry.
Have you seen our number one centre-back priority is Laporte or Guahi? If we brought in both of those, let's say we actually was ambitious for once in our life, that's a top 4 centre-back partnership right there.
I can tell you right now, and you can clip this, and I might be very wrong. I can't see any way, shape, or form that Aymeric Laporte wants to join Tottenham Hotspur.
What about Guahi?
All day long.
Why are we not?
If we can't go and get a centre half from Crystal Palace, then I worry. Right? I take all day.
Picking up Anderson.
I take him all day as well. I take him all day long.
What's he going to be worth? 40 million?
What did they pay for him? 25?
I think they paid 30 million euros.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're saying Rodon is better than Dyer, but Rodon wasn't even getting into the team in France. You know, it's like, I'm not so... Listen, I'll be honest, Henry. I know we've got to keep some. If all of them went, if all 6 went and we brought in 3 or 4 new ones, I wouldn't care. I've got no particular liking for any of our centre halves. I'm just really disappointed with them all. Let's have a look. Let's move away from, and please subscribe to Henry Wright TV. Please subscribe to Football Heritage TV. Can I get 19 more subscribers between now and the end of the show to get to 5,700? And can we get Henry 5 to 10 more if you've already not subscribed?
25 million euros they paid for him. 25
million. I mean, listen, yeah. By the way, yeah, Phil, listen, I know we can't get rid of everyone in one window. I know, but because of that doesn't mean I ever want to see Joe Rodon in a Spurs shirt. I feel we need to learn. I feel like we keep doing this with these returning players going, oh, maybe under a new manager, they might be all right. I don't know how much we need to see of them, but this is the good shout from you that you said, Henry. All day long, I would take this guy. And also, I think he'd have bigger fish to fry, but what about this guy?
Never joining us.
Yeah, I agree.
Chelsea boy, never coming to us.
Yeah. I agree with this as well, Daniel. I think if you bought in Cappy and you wanted to play Romero, I think you would have to sandwich someone in between them that can actually stay on their feet.
If you bought in Cappy and De Vrij, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. You've got to have a leader with those two because Hincapi's good, but young, inexperienced, and dives in a lot. Romero dives in a lot. You've got to have a talker. And yes, I would definitely take this bloke from Fiorentina. I would definitely take Milenkovic.
I don't think he was that good last night, though, but can't judge a player in one game.
Wasn't his best game. Let's move into the midfield, Henry. Let's move into the midfield because look, there's so many comments. By the way, apologies, I can't read them all out. There are so many comments. Central midfield, Henry. Look, we've got. Where to start? You've got Papa Sarr, Bentancur, Skip, Højbjerg, Basuma, Winks, Ndombele, Lo Celso. I'll be honest, again, other than Basuma, I don't care if they all go. So I'm not going to fight you on any of these. Who stays, who goes?
I think we definitely should keep Bentancur, Basuma, and Sarr.
Okay.
I think Sarr, he had half a good game against AC Milan, and then we didn't see him for the rest of the season. He come on against Liverpool. Was it Liverpool? What Premier League game did he play? We lost Newcastle, and he got subbed off.
Yeah, he was almost used as a scapegoat, wasn't he, for that game?
I think we've got Bentancur is a good player in there, but we're going to need to bring in a central midfielder because of his injury. So Bentancur keep, Sarr keep, Basuma keep, Højbjerg. I think we should sell him. I think he's at the age now where we could get 30-35 million pounds for Højbjerg.
I agree.
And then go and buy a better centre midfielder cheaper. I look at some of the midfielders that went down that are better technically. I know they don't fit the system, but James Ward-Prowse is better than him technically. Yuri Tillemans is better than this guy technically. And Ndidi, James Maddison better over in every single Lavia at Southampton as well. You know, if we got 30-35 million pounds for Højbjerg, cash in. Winks, get rid. Lo Celso, get rid. Who else is there? Ndombele, get rid, but I can't see us getting the transfer fee league he's going to want to get, so I think he will stay. I think we'll be left with Skip. The club won't sell him. Did you see the other day Ollie's Skip appreciation post? Just because he's from our academy.
Yeah, by the way, Skriniar's joining PSG. So I think we need to be a bit more realistic about that. By the way, this guy is also not a free. Leon, you keep naming players that have already signed for other clubs. He's gone to Atletico Madrid. I think the thing is for me, Henry, what I think we've got to do as well now is we've really got to start buying players that fit a manager's tactics. And the way, speaking to Celtic fans, watching Celtic play, the way that Postecoglou plays is the midfield three have all got good legs. They've all, you know me, I'm always talking about good legs, good legs, good engines, energy to get back and forward. I just can't see how the likes of Skip, Højbjerg, Ndombele, Lo Celso, I think they're all very, this isn't the best word to use, ploddy.
Do you know what my midfield three would be under Postecoglou if we had the players right now? Sarr, Basuma, and Bentancur.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now imagine you add to that. You add Maddison, and I tell you, a player I talked about earlier that loads of people, Henry, the number of people that were like, oh, he's only done it in Scotland. A fantastic player is Matt O'Reilly, who plays in centre midfield for Celtic. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of him lately, and he is very good. He is a very good player. 22, box to box in every sense of the word. None of this 6, 8, advanced 8, 10. He tackles. He gets stuck in.
There's a lot of players at Celtic.
Yeah, there's a few I'd take.
Jota's another one.
I'd take him, yeah.
And
looks a good player.
Who's the the left back they've got? Is it left back or right back?
Which
one?
Got
Jota. We're looking at the Japanese forward. There's another one they've got.
So they've got Kyogo. They've got Hatata. Is it Hatata?
The name don't ring a bell.
But the two for me that stand out is Kyogo, and I really, really am a big fan of Matt O'Reilly. They plucked him a year and a half ago from MK Dons. He's gone there and done well. He's only 22 years of age, Danish.
Who else we should get? Which would be one of my number one transfers. Who's the young lad from Bristol?
Alex Scott.
In a heartbeat, bring him in.
All day. I don't think anyone said that at all. I think everyone rates Bentancur. I think the worry we've got, I'll speak for myself. I don't know if Henry agrees with me, is one, he's not available until about December.
Yeah,
because of his long-term injury.
Fit.
And even if he does get fully fit, Henry, there's nothing to say he's going to come back from that massive injury as good. But we'll see.
I don't think it'll come back.
Phil, you seem to want you seem to want the squad to be exactly the same next season. I'm really worried. Like the other day, it was like, right, yeah, we want Son, Kane, Kulusevski, we want Lo Celso and Ndombele. Yeah, we want this player. He's got to stay. He's got to stay. He's got to stay. It's like, so basically, you don't want to build. You don't want anything to change. Phil wants the same team. I don't care for any of them. I want a complete revamp.
I'm in your camp, just complete rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, we'll move to the forwards in a minute, but I mean, central midfield. I think Winks, we can all agree, there's no future for Winks at Tottenham Hotspur, is there?
No, get rid.
Mm-hmm.
Sign Maddison, have Basuma, Bentancur. See, Maddison for me would be the dream. If we can somehow, if we get rid of Kane and bring in a striker, or if we can somehow keep hold of Kane, Maddison would be like that Eriksen player where, you know, he can dictate play. He can pass the ball very well in the final third. He's got an eye for goal. He's a free kick taker as well. He can actually a set piece taker. He's got flair. But the big question mark is, are we going to pay the fee?
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly, by the way, I mean, yeah, I'm all for loaning Skip out, but when we say that, we say like someone like Bournemouth, a full season. I don't think he gets into Bournemouth's team. I look at a lot of clubs, Henry, in the Premier League, and I look and go, where does this boy play? Like they've got Philip Billing, who is much better than Ollie Skip. I don't know where he plays, Daniel, if I'm brutally honest. I really don't know.
I don't think he gets in Bournemouth. I don't think he gets in Palace. I don't think he gets in Wolves. I don't think he gets in West Ham. Like,
I don't even think he would be a.
Does he get in Burnley?
I was going to say, I don't think he's a Company type player. Vincent Company plays how Pep played, right? That's what he's trying to evolve to. I don't think Skippy's good enough or mobile enough for that level of football.
I agree.
I think he's a top half championship player. I know that sounds harsh, Henry. I know, but look, if I look at the Premier League, right? Let's have a look at the Premier League. Does he get in to Everton's midfield above Onana? Yeah? Above Idrissa Gueye? Both have got good engines, right? Both can get up and back. Does he get in above? Does he get in at Nottingham Forest? I mean, Dave, you were in the chat earlier. Dave Asprey, Nottingham Forest fan. Does Skippy get in at Nottingham Forest? I don't think he does. Bournemouth, I don't think so. West Ham, not a chance.
Don't get in over
Wolves.
Paqueta
Wolves have got loads of good midfielders with technical ability. Chelsea, can't see it. Palace, over players like
not
Jeffrey.
Better than I mean, he's probably better than Sambi Lokonga, but he ain't better than the likes of Decore.
Mate, I don't know. I don't know where he gets in. I know people are gonna have a go at me. I just don't see where he gets in. I don't think he's that good.
Let me ask you something. Would you take Lingard on a free?
No, I wouldn't at all. No.
Do you think that could be a move Levy would make?
Yeah, he is Danish. No, I don't. Listen, I don't think so. I don't see how he fits in with what Postecoglou wants. I really, really don't. I think that's what we've got to get away from now. I think we need to get players that can run. Yeah, this has got to be a must for me, Henry. Players that can. I want to see energy.
Yeah,
I want to watch Spurs and think, Jesus, they gave it a go. Yeah. At the moment, I go through nearly all our team, and it's very lethargic. Like
we're all one-dimensional players, aren't we?
Very, very, very much so. Very, very much so. Look, we've got just under 10 minutes to go, people. Smash the like, smash the subscribe for both Henry and myself. By the way, can I get 14 more subscribers to get to the 6,700? 6 likes away from 200, and there's 455 of you in here. If 100 of you could go over right now and smash that like button, and if 15 of you could go over and smash the subscribe, be really, really appreciative. Let's move to the area that wins games, shall we? By the way, just quickly, lots of people saying Alex Scott is a baller.
Alex Scott's a player. I think City are looking at him, so you know where he's going to end up.
Yeah. Matt O'Reilly, by the way, is being looked at by Brighton. So when people are going to me, oh no, he's only done it in Scotland, this boy can play. Brighton are looking at him for a reason. Brighton don't. It's mad, isn't it? Brighton don't sign bad players.
Brighton have got probably the second or third best scouting network in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's look at the forward players, because we don't have any attacking midfielders. We've got no worries about that. So Henry, Lucas Moura has left. We don't have to worry about him. Danjuma has gone back from his loan spell. We don't have to worry about him. So as far as I can see, I know, Phil, I was just joking, mate.
We got Richarlison, Kane.
Richarlison, Son and Kane. And then you've got Scarlett coming back and Troy Parrott coming back, the guy that is allergic to scoring goals.
Troy Parrott, get rid of. Richarlison, if we can get a £30 million bid, get rid. If a bid comes in 30, 35 million, I'd bite your hand off. But I don't see it. I think he'll stay because he can press. Kane, obviously, no-brainer.
Mm.
Who else we got? Kulu.
I mean, let's be fair, though, right? Let's be fair, Henry. We're in a position where, as I've just said, Lucas and Danjuma have gone. Kulu's not even our player. We've got to remember this, right? As of the last kick of the game, Kulu's in limbo. We either sign him or we don't. You've got Kane. We don't know what's happening. And then you've got Son, right? Scarlett, for me, the fact he couldn't get in at Portsmouth, I'm going to bring up these stats, Henry. And I'm not knocking him. He's a kid, right? I'm not knocking him. Portsmouth were League One, right?
Yeah.
So if I look at Portsmouth, I look at their squad. They're going to put him back to, they're going to put him back to Spurs, aren't they now? So Dane Scarlett did
How many
this.
goals did he score at Portsmouth?
This is what I'm finding out, mate. I can't find him anywhere. I cannot find Dane Scarlett on this app anywhere.
Let me have a look.
Hang on. Dane Scarlett.
Scored Portsmouth 4 goals in 34 games.
Right. So he's not ready in League One. He's not ready for the Premiership, right?
And he scored 1 goal in the Under-20 World Cup.
Right. So he for me.
Give him a loan to a championship club. Go stick him at loan at someone like West Brom, someone like Middlesbrough, where he can learn, like what Balogun did. Balogun didn't have a great time at Middlesbrough. Then he went out on loan to was it Rennes and did absolute wonders.
But I mean, my immediate concern would be that he's only got 4 in League One, but he is 19 years of age. For me, you're right, though. He's got to go on loan somewhere, and he's got to start banging in some goals. Because if we look at the other player, before we talk about Kane for the last 5 minutes, Kane and Kulu and Son, if we look at Troy Parrott, this is his loan career, Henry. He got
Let me guess the clubs.
Go on then. Go on.
Millwall.
Yep.
Preston North End.
Yep.
Ipswich.
Yep.
There's one more.
Yep. Dele Alli.
Oh, MK Dons.
Right. So I'm going to tell you the number of times he played for those clubs, Henry. You're going to tell me how many goals he got, all right? So for Millwall, he made 11 league appearances.
2 goals.
No goals. For Ipswich in league, Millwall was the championship. Ipswich was League One. 18 appearances.
1 goal.
2 goals. Right. He got 43 games for MK Dons in League One.
3.
9. He actually got 9. And 32 games for Preston.
2.
3. Now, if I quickly add that up,
he hasn't even scored 20 goals
70,
in about 100
so that's
games.
75, 95, 93, in 104 games across League One and the Championship, he's managed to score 14 goals. And 9 of them were in League One. He's 21. I'm going to put it out there and say, whenever I've seen him play, I've seen nothing from him at all, Henry, that makes me think he can come into this first team squad and play. If I'm brutally honest.
Yes, I agree. Get rid.
Yeah. But by the way, when someone said he's only a young lad, if I'm talking about Scarlett, what did I just say? Yes, he's a young lad, which means he's not ready. Get him out. Get him out on loan. And Henry, I don't know what you think. These young players, for me, I think if you want to jump in and be a Premier League striker, you've at least got to go to a Championship League One club and start getting 14, 15, 16 goals.
I agree.
You've got to. If you can't, I'm not sure you're going to make it. And if you're not, I think you need to be exceptionally good at something. Hold up play, running the chat. I don't know. You've got to have something. Henry, just quickly, Kane, Kulu, do you think they're going to sign him?
I think they will sign Kulu, yeah. 30 million, I think, or 25 million, whatever it is. I think they will get it done. And I think we will keep him. I want to see him get more game time, and I want a manager to put their arm around him and actually, show some belief in him. Conte didn't do that, but definitely keep him.
Do you think Postecoglou would want him? Do you think he suits a Postecoglou front three? And if he does, where does Basuma play? Right back.
I don't think he fits the system, but I think we will play him because I think he'll be like a universal player. I think he would come into a midfield position.
Mm.
I don't think Kula will start every game next season. With Porro potentially playing wing, who knows? We're gonna have to bring in a forward as well. So
yeah. I think we need to bring in 2, Henry. I agree. I don't think you can do a whole season with Kane, Son, and Kulu if they all play. I think you imagine you get 2 injuries, you've got nothing. Have you? I think there's a lot of work to do. You've got Lancashire and Donnelly in the youth team as well. We don't know how good they are. You've got who's the young lad we took from Chelsea? Soon Bell, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something
There's
like
also
that.
that Mundell player who's quite good, isn't he? Is it Mundell?
Yeah, Mundell, but doesn't Mundell want to leave? Is the latest I heard.
You can't blame him, can you?
Yeah. Henry, look, we're going to leave it there. I don't want to run into your time. I know you're going to be starting your stream, but I have got some super chats. I must read this out. Otherwise, that's just poor form from me. Loves Music came in and said, maybe my age, but what's an inverted player? Yeah, all these buzzwords. I suppose it's just a technically good fullback that can come inside and kind of do what Kyle Walker does, what John Stones has been doing.
The generic term is a left-footed player playing on the right.
Yeah, you can go with that. And then you've got Wayne Holland has just sent a super sticker. Thank you very much. Big up. And hopefully your Leicester team bounce back next year. And if we get James Maddison from you, thank you very much. Just quickly on James Maddison, I'm of the belief if we want this man, because there's loads of reports flying around today, if we want this man, we've got to move quick. I think once we get into a bidding war, that's when I think we'll lose him. And then Marcus Brody has come in and said, Basuma in a partnership with a motivated Ndombele would be up there as the best in the league. Criminal if we can't get Tanguy back to being a baller. Marcus, I'm going to be honest with you. I just can't. The man don't run.
When was Tanguy a baller?
Yeah, I know. This is the problem for
Leon,
me.
maybe.
Even then, we only saw him do that in big Champions League games.
A couple of games, yeah.
Yeah. But look, thank you so much for the super chat. I think the problem is Ndombele, can he play in a pressing team? Can he play in a team where they all work hard? If I was next to him in midfield, I'd be well pissed off playing next to that guy. Henry, thank you so much. I am going to post a link in the chat. This link that I've just posted is a link to Henry Wright TV's show. Please, I will be on there in how long? 3 minutes? Starting 3 minutes?
I'm going to start a timer as soon as we finish.
Start a timer. I'm going to call the wife, let her know I'm streaming, so not to knock on the door because she never takes her key anywhere. And I will see you on the flip side. Thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe. We'll see you on Henry's channel in a couple of minutes. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.